prices.
You can also go to Walmart.com to get what you need for the holidays. My man. Walmart's here to help you save money and make holiday shopping easier than ever.
So you can make every day till Christmas count.
Let the joy begin! There's my ride home.
Oh, Blitzen.
No, that's Donner.
You drop 40 grand on a new set of wheels, then wham, a minivan T-bones you. Guess what? Your insurance company will only give you $37,000 to replace it. Depreciation, they claim. How can my car depreciate before its first oil change, you ask? Maybe the better question is, why do you have that insurance company?
With Liberty Mutual New Car Replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
You do a lot to keep your family safe at home. So make sure they're safer on the road. See farther, wider, better. Upgrade to Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
We were flattered when Regenerist beat $100 cream. Flabbergasted when we creamed a $300 cream. For about $30, Regenerist Microsculpting Cream hydrates better than over 15 of America's most expensive luxury creams. Regenerist. Olay, your best beautiful.
From the very minute you have this idea that you want to be in business, you need to have that card.
Presentation is everything because they're not only first impression of you, but now you're handing them this product that really is kind of going to define your business in their mind pretty quickly.
You want a very thick card that feels nice in your client's hand.
I think it's nice to have a choice because sometimes you want a glossy card, but for other projects, I don't necessarily want all that.
Your business card is a reflection of you. It should say exactly what you want. With a range of design, stock, and finish options at Vistaprint, it will. Get 500 business cards starting at just $9.99. Just enter promo code TV500 at Vistaprint.com.
That business card, when I make a connection with someone, has to be phenomenal. It has to be elegant and invoke all the things that Diamond stands for.
Just that professionalism is going to make you, as a business owner, more successful just right off the bat.
Vistaprint.com.
Monday morning on the Weather Channel, a daredevil's tightrope walk 50 stories over windy Chicago. Jim Cantori's there to show us how dangerous the weather got. Plus, could the new pocket of Arctic air keep people from voting at the polls and possibly change the balance of power? All Monday morning on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 65 degrees under fair skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 69. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 60. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 75. Winds northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Thursday, a day dedicated to prepping and surviving winter's worst.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Watch the Winter Weather Prep Rally Thursday morning and night on the Weather Channel.
We're talking gusts up to 55 miles an hour, maybe a little bit more.
Much of the South, millions of people dealing with the cold and then the wind.
It's craziness. Blowing and drifting snow across the slopes up here on the mountaintop.
I'm not sure which I like more, the snow-covered jack-o'-lanterns or that's craziness.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying in the South. This is craziness.
Welcome to Weather Center Live and all this craziness. I'm Kate Parker.
And I'm Mark Elliott. And as you watch our crazy show today, send us pictures of what you're up to. It's your weekend, so show us what you're doing using the hashtag YourWeekend on social media.
How about some snow?
Why not? Lots of people are up to that.
You've got a lot of it in Waldoboro, Maine. This is from Natalie. Man, you've got it coating your pumpkins. Once again, those Halloween decorations still up, but the snow coming in. And a lot of folks, Mark, saying, this sure feels like a nor'easter. but it's not, correct?
Well, it's close. Portions of the northeast coast are certainly seeing those north to northeast winds. Really only Maine, though. A lot of people that are seeing precipitation right now are actually already seeing the offshore winds, not a wind direction out of the northeast. So that's one thing. Boston, Portland, you're getting some of that changeover. It's certainly a strong coastal storm at this point. We've got that area of low pressure intensifying off the coast. And so it's really this part of Maine that's seeing that classic northeasterly wind. Everyone else is almost seeing an east or even an offshore wind at this point and still seeing some of that precipitation thrown back into the mix. So Portland 35, Augusta 32, Bangor 33. As you can see, these surface temperatures are moderate when it comes to accumulating snowfall. Aloft, though, there's plenty of cold air, and we certainly have seen some reports. Now, speaking of storm reports, in the last 6 hours, 50 reports coming in from eastern Massachusetts, most of them wind damage. We have some coastal flood reports, 12 of them, but sustained winds 5 and wind damage 26, wind gusts 7. Wind damage continues to come on through this area of the country because of that low, sending that wind on through. Providence right now gusting to near 40 miles per hour. Provincetown gusting over 50 miles per hour out there on the Cape, where it's still rain, while much of the rest of Massachusetts has changed over to snow at this point, if you're seeing precipitation at all. It's certainly heavier snow up towards Maine. Portland, Maine, seeing some of that snow. Here's that classic north wind going on right now because you're just further away from the storm. And then, as that storm moves away, you go that strong offshore wind, and that's going to continue right on through the day. So more wind damage is certainly possible. Kate, over to you.
Oh, boy. Cold for more than 50,000 runners that are on the streets for today's 44th New York City Marathon right now. Our Reagan Medji is in New York and explains that it's not just the cold for the runners that's the problem and the more than 10,000 volunteers, like some of them that you see here, but it's actually all that wind.
We're here at the starting point for the New York City Marathon on Staten Island. And basically today, for the 50,000 runners expected to do that finish line to cross it, the biggest issue is the wind and the cold. This is a great example of what I can show right now as to how people, all these runners, are trying to keep warm. They're along all the live trucks here, just making sure that they can keep their muscles warm before their big race, 26.2 miles. And we're going to show you more of what these runners are dealing with. Look at all of them just packed to the gills with layers upon layers of clothing. Now, once this race starts, they're going to be stripping off those layers. And what's going to happen to the clothing is basically going to be donated to Goodwill for the homeless shelters in the area, in the New York City area. So this big race will kick off. It will go from Staten Island to Brooklyn to Queens to Manhattan, Bronx, and then back to Manhattan, 26.2 miles. And of course, we were speaking to runners today, and they said the wind is going to be at their faces. And a good tip, you want to stay in the middle of the race, not on the edges, so that way you don't have to worry about the wind hitting you from both sides. So we're here in New York City for the 44th annual New York City Marathon, and we're going to get going, and this is going to be a great race for all. Back to you.
Ooh, interesting info there, Reagan. I love the fact that they're going to shred off those layers and then it's donated to Goodwill. That's a really cool way to kind of get that marathon going. And it is a cool day in the Northeast, but here's the deal. Temperatures are going to very quickly rebound here. So that's good news. This isn't that bad of a breakup with these warm temperatures. You rebound quickly. 45 degrees right now in New York City. Winds at the moment are calm, but we've been watching them gust over 25, close to 30 miles an hour all morning long. This high pressure that's holding all that cold air in place, that scoots well enough offshore to allow all this warmth in. It just kind of opens the door to the Gulf of Mexico. You get all that warmth surging back up through Florida, where we saw those record lows this morning, and then making its way into the Northeast. So good news if you're not a fan of that chilly weather. We're not quite there yet. It is just the beginning of November. So let's talk about these high temperatures, because today 50 degrees for DC, but tomorrow look at the difference, 63 degrees. That's quite the rebound. So don't put away some of those layers just yet. The winter parkas can go away for a couple days, because Tuesday you've got 70 degrees in DC, Charleston, West Virginia, you've got 69 degrees, Raleigh 68 degrees. It's actually going to be gorgeous for the start of your week. So a nice little rebound. Today, though, it is still chilly. Tomorrow, still on the cool side. I'd say the middle part of this week is just straight winning across the east, Mark.
Yeah, a lot of people looking forward to that after what we just went through. The South saw a lot of snow this weekend. I mean, look at some of the big winners, right? Mount LeConte, 22 inches. Great Smoky National Park, no slouch either, 1.5 feet there. And Mike Seidel was in the thick of it, camping out in Sugar Mountain, North Carolina, where skiers made the most out of the early snowfall.
We're at the base of Sugar Mountain Ski Resort here in western North Carolina. In compliments of the Arctic Air Mass and November, they opened this morning at 9 a.m., their second earliest start on record. And some of the first snowboarders on the slopes, Luke and Charles, all the way from Charleston, South Carolina. You turned on the TV yesterday and you had to get on the road.
Yep, it's about a 5.5 hour drive from Charleston. And, you know, my whole family likes to snowboard a lot. And it's Luke's first time over here, so we thought we'd give it a try because, you know, it looked pretty good.
Well, it's pretty nice up there. Hey, Luke, I saw you come down. I didn't realize at the time it was your first run. How did it feel?
It felt amazing.
So you're stoked now. You're going to be doing this every weekend. You can get up here, huh?
Yes, sir.
Any excuse?
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to be skiing and snowboarding up here until 4:30. You guys going to be out here almost to sunset?
Yep.
It's going to be great. And we got the skiers behind us lining up. What a day here at Sugar Mountain. Temperatures in the low 20s, heading up to about freezing. And it will stay cold into tomorrow. The idea behind making all the snow is the man-made snow lasts longer, so they get the base down, despite the fact that temperatures will be warming up in the next couple of days here in the mountains of western North Carolina. But today, it's beautiful. I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel from the Weather Channel here at Sugar Mountain, North Carolina.
I love that that's the definition of beautiful, when the snow machines are cranking and people are hitting the slopes. A different type of weather for everyone, I guess. You know what? East temps, they're going to return to normal. We're going to see quite the warm-up on the way. Right now, we're still seeing the northerly wind, so look how dry it is. There's not even a cloud in sight here across the deep south. Underneath all that cold air, lots of sunshine. That sun is going to slowly get things back to warmth. 65 in Atlanta tomorrow. By Tuesday, though, look towards Montgomery, 76. Jackson, 77. Nashville, you'll be approaching 70 degrees. And by Wednesday, upper 70s returning across portions of the south, near 80 in Tallahassee. That's a big difference. I mean, Tallahassee, you were in the low to mid 30s when you started off your day. And in the Atlanta area, where the average high is 68, tomorrow will be pretty close to that, into the mid 60s, then actually jumping above average by Tuesday and Wednesday. So after coming out of this cold spell, that's going to feel very different across the southeast. Kate, over to you.
Okay, well, Mark, after a weekend of those cool temperatures, warmer weather on the way for most. Details next in the 7-day forecast, but those winds still hanging around during tonight's high wire walk by Daredevil Nick Wallenda in Chicago. This one has us biting our nails.
Currently in our area, 66 degrees under fair skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 69. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 60. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 75. Winds northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The Dueler tires on Terrence Knighton's truck are engineered to be Bridgestone's best SUV tires, and now they have an 80,000-mile tread-wear warranty.
Guess we're going to be here a while.
First time on a treadmill?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying.
With an 80,000-mile tread-wear warranty, the Dueler tires are Bridgestone's best SUV tires. Go to BridgestoneTire.com to find a Bridgestone dealer near you.
What Duluth Trading Wild Boar Mocks feel like. What Duluth Trading Wild Boar Mocks grip like. Duluth Wild Boar Mocks with no slip grip. Comfy like a fuzzy bunny. Grippy like a big bad boar. Get a pair. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
When heartburn comes creeping up on you, fight back with Relief So Smooth. It's fast. Tums Smoothie starts dissolving the instant it touches your tongue and neutralizes stomach acid at the source. Smoothies, only from Tums.
Tomcat bait kills up to 12 mice faster than Decon. What will we do with all of these dead mice? Tomcat presents Dead Mouse Theater.
Hey, old frick.
Hey, Ignore.
What's up with you?
Funny you ask. I'm actually here to pillage your town.
But we went to summer camp together.
Summer camp is over.
Tomcat. Engineered to kill.
Dear Murphy, thanks for being a warm pillow, a snuggler, and showing me that slobber just adds character.
This holiday season, give thanks to the pets who inspire you. For 3 days only at PetSmart, save 30% on thousands of items. PetSmart.
It's here in your floor's crevices that vacuums leave microscopic allergens like these pollens and mold spores. But the Dyson DC65 uses a self-adjusting cleaner head for improved suction on hard floors and deep cleaning on carpets, while powerful cyclone technology captures even microscopic dirt and safely locks it all in here. DC65 sucks up more dust, dirt, and allergens than any other vacuum across carpets and hard floors.
They call it a minivan, but there's nothing mini about it. Say goodbye to the two-seater and hello to parenthood.
Allstate can help you save an average of $3,000 on a new car. Let an Allstate agent surprise you by helping you get a deal on the car you might not want, but really need. Plus, call now and get 2 safe driving bonus checks a year for driving safe.
Just a few more ways. The good hands are doing more than ever before.
Call 866-538-7521 now.
Ring, ring. Progresso. I can't believe I'm eating bacon-enriched creamy cheese before my sister's wedding.
Well, it's only 100 calories, so you'll be ready for that dress.
Uh-huh.
You don't love the dress?
I love my sister.
40 flavors, 100 calories or less.
Thought it'd be bigger.
There's nothing I can't reach in my Subaru.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Well, check out Chicago. Looks pretty, right? But that doesn't tell the whole story. It is cold, it is breezy, and neither one of those things makes me want to step outside of the top of a skyscraper and take a walk.
Yeah, especially taking a walk between those skyscrapers. But tonight, Nick Wallenda is going to make history after his daring high-wire walks across the Grand Canyon and Niagara Falls. Now he's taking on the Chi-Town.
Yeah, and as our own Jim Cantore shows us, wind could add an extra challenge to today's walk, as if he needs another one.
Right.
Today is the day. Actually, it'll be tonight after the sun goes down when Nick Wallenda potentially breaks 2 world records. One, starting on that rope right there, heading all the way up to the Leo Burnett building. It's a 15 to 18 degree incline. And of course, with the winds now out of the south, that wind will be in his face. Then once Nick completes that walk, he'll go down the elevator, come back up to the West Tower, I should say, and work his way across what is going to be the blindfold walk. You can see that wire right in through there. Now, Nick's actually trained blindfolded. We saw him in Florida, and he was basically showing us how he trains blindfold. He puts a blindfold on and walks across the wire. He has his family members shake that wire, try and set him off. But imagine what it's like if you take away your eyesight. I mean, that's a key part of your balance. We got a chance to talk to Nick's father this morning, Terry, and this is what he had to say when we asked him how he felt about Nick walking blindfolded.
Well, when he first told me, I thought he was nuts. But he proved to me that, he could do it, and he trained very hard. It's very different because his feet actually become his eyes. So he doesn't step off the side of the wire. He uses his feet to feel where he's going, so he keeps walking in that straight line across the wire.
So my purpose here tonight is going to monitor the weather. You can see the winds are already shifting around a little bit. They should come in out of the south. Temperatures will be in the 40s, but our wind chills will make it feel like it's in the 30s. And that may be another challenge for Nick, as he is from Florida and certainly not used to this cold here in Chicago. Reporting from high atop of the city, I'm meteorologist Jim Cantore.
Thanks, Jim. And taking a closer look at that forecast in Chicago that Jim was just referencing, you're going to start out in the upper 40s as you're going through that prep time for Nick and for his crew. As the walk goes on, though, you will slide through the mid-40s into the low 40s as the winds hold fairly steady, close to 15 miles per hour. There will be some shifting to that wind as well. This is a high-resolution model, kind of timing out how those winds are going to bend around. And although it's not a dramatic turn, they will stay mostly out of the south. There will be some shifting, and any gust could be the gust that's just a little bit too much, right? So we're going to be watching that carefully. Tonight's walk, of course, very exciting. Jim Cantore is there co-hosting along with Willie Geist and Natalie Morales. It all starts at 7 Eastern. Kate, over to you.
I am shivering just thinking about that and also looking at this. Now look at our camera here in New York City. See how it's moving around? We've got some pretty gusty winds, and across New York State we have 5 utility companies that are estimating 27,157 customers without power right now. That's between Long Island Power, Central Hudson, Cone, and Orange and Rockland, and that is because of those gusty winds. So let's talk about what you can anticipate over the next 7 days, because we have some changes brewing. Now the Northeast, you're incredibly cold today, but by tomorrow we've already got new changes on the way. Look at what's going to start moving across the middle part of the country. Our next system on the back end of that, we've got snow in the forecast for the Rockies, so there's some good news for skiers if you're looking to get a little powder on those slopes. Here's what we've got going on with temperatures already rebounding. Tomorrow in Atlanta you're going to be at 65 degrees for a high. How about that? That feels a little better. And look at the temperature in New York City. By the time we get to Tuesday, 63 degrees, not bad. Got some showers possible from Chicago down to Dallas. In fact, in North Texas, we're looking at the flood potential for the early part of this next week. Yeah, because you can't absorb, you need that moisture. You just can't absorb it that quickly with your soil. So we'll be monitoring that very quickly, because you'll notice how this rain kind of hangs out in North Texas throughout Monday going into Tuesday and into Wednesday. We start to get more of that into Louisiana. We've got a little bit of that snowy mix into the northern plains as we head into Thursday, and the rain keeps going in the Pacific Northwest. Mark?
And Kate, we are keeping an eye on the tropics, where Tropical Storm Vance is churning outside just outside of Mexico. Plus, we're going to talk to Dr. Greg Postel about winter weather. The winter weather update coming up next.
Good night.
Night.
For those kept awake by pain, the night is anything but good. Introducing new Aleve PM, the first one with a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour strength of Aleve for pain relief that can last until the AM. Now you can have a good night and a
good morning.
New Aleve PM for a better AM.
Sweetie, I'd love a hazelnut. Mom, Dad, Big Uncle Wayne.
Hot chocolate.
Green tea.
Decaf, cuz.
Wow.
I'm dying for herbal tea.
The all-new Keurig 2.0 is here.
I think everyone I knew growing up had a Lazy Boy recliner in the house. We'd be watching cartoons or whatever, and if Dad came home, boom, out of there. That was the dad chair. So it's funny that my family's favorite place to sit is made by Lazy Boy too. Seriously, the sofa, the love seat, all this. Good luck kicking me out of my Lazy Boy furniture now.
Right now, save on a great selection of furniture. You won't believe what you'll find.
Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
Currently in our area, 66 degrees under fair skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 69. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 60. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 75. Winds northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Pete is helping his aunt move, so he's not thinking about tires right now. But if he were, all he'd need to know is TireRack.com. He could view the complete selection of Continental tires at TireRack.com. Then he'd have the confidence to drive safely in any weather. But Pete's not thinking about tires. Pete's thinking it would have been nice if his aunt had mentioned the Mynah bird. TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
Skyscraper Live, tonight at 7 on Discovery.
Dear Mojo and Max, thanks for inspiring me to be as good as you think I am.
This holiday season, give thanks to the pets who inspire you. At PetSmart, save up to $5 on select Hill's Science Diet and Ideal Balance pet food. PetSmart.
Hurry! There's a hot offer for heartburn sufferers. Now try Zantac free at ZantacOffers.com. Hurry! It's free this week only. No pill relieves heartburn faster. Get Zantac free at ZantacOffers.com.
Lowe's presents how to install a new washing machine with one finger.
Maybe a little more that way.
Nice.
This Whirlpool washer or dryer, now just $4.99 each at Lowe's.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Kevin.
Blah, blah, insurance. Person, come help.
Every Thursday night, Xfinity from Comcast and NFL Network puts you right there for all the action. NFL Network is the place to see the rest of this season's Thursday night football games. And you won't want to miss a minute of the action. Don't miss the Browns versus the Bengals and every other Thursday night football matchup. Get NFL Network when you upgrade to Digital Preferred TV for just $9.99 more a month for 12 months. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call 1-800-XFINITY or go online.
Mary Lynn Magar, a champion for our small businesses and our economy. Magar led the effort to pass a manufacturing tax break to create clean, high-wage jobs. And Magar fought to rein in spending and cut taxes and fees by over $500 million, so our seniors and working families could save more of the money they earn. No wonder then that Mary Lynn Magar has been endorsed by the Florida Chamber of Commerce. Mary Lynn Magar, real leadership getting results.
Ready for a new breed of broker? There's a name for people like you. Trade King. Switch today.
Mike Bettis.
Look at that monster.
The National Weather Association's Broadcaster of the Year.
Well, take a look at this. Boone, North Carolina, not only home to quite the snowy football game yesterday as Georgia State came into town to play, but also some beautiful snow scenes like these, courtesy of this current storm.
Oh, that one was not so beautiful. That was a pretty
kinda
evil-looking little jack-o'-lantern. There was some snow on it, but that's what we saw. I saw snowmen that were made with the top of it being the pumpkin for the head because it was just, you know, so early in the season.
It's the clash of the seasons, and we're going to bring in our expert du jour, Dr. Greg Postel, talking about all this winter weather because it's not done yet, going up towards the Northeast Corridor.
No, du jour makes me hungry, Mark. Boy, I could use lunch right about now. But you know what? We have a lot of snow going on right now in Maine. We have a tower cam from Portland, Maine. Check this out. This is fantastic. You can see the snow blowing like crazy there. The winds are pretty high. It's not really accumulating much there, it looks like, on the roads because the temperature is about 33, 34 degrees. So we're having some melting. But on the colder surfaces, the rooftops and certainly the grass, it's starting to pick up. This is what we have expected for Maine throughout the duration of the day. It's going to be all over by about 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. But look at that. Down East Maine, 8 to 12 inches, including Bangor, places like Acadia National Park, right along the coast here. Portland would probably get 1 to 3 is my guess. But we're just going to have to watch the radar because there is some big-time snow moving in off the Atlantic Ocean. Look at this, guys. I mean, it continues to rotate back toward the northwest. Pretty significant band coming in. There's S+ in there, no doubt about that. And what I mean by that is heavy snow at times with visibility less than a half a mile. But really, travel all along I-95 here is going to be very difficult today. We know the speed limits have been reduced to 45 miles per hour throughout the entire length of it. Across Maine. So really, big-time snows are ongoing now. We've got some reports already of up to 7 inches in Lincoln, Maine. 3.4 Bangor, last report there, but these numbers are going to come up by a lot. They're is the reason why. Look at this thing swirling away on the satellite pictures. It's a very strong storm. It's probably past its prime. The pressure's somewhere around 990, probably coming up a little bit, but still on the northwest side of it, there's a lot of lift in the atmosphere ongoing across that region, leading to a lot of cooling aloft and supporting a lot of snow, even though the surface temperatures are above freezing, which is what's going on here in Massachusetts. They've now seen snow for hours there with temperatures in the middle 30s. Here's an example. There's Foxborough. It's a wet snow accumulating on the grass, but I think overall the roads are pretty good across the region. Let's time it out. In a couple hours, I think that stuff in eastern Massachusetts is probably going to go back over to rain as the cooling aloft weakens and moves away. But up in Maine, it is going to be a snow event to continue, and it's going to be going on throughout the afternoon. My goodness, this is going to bring a lot of snow that way, and travel is going to be exceptionally difficult before things wind down later on in the evening. Now, I'm going to transition over to the tropics because we have a quick picture here of what's going on in the overview. What I've got for you is a quiet Atlantic and a Hurricane Vance here, which is now strengthening. It's an 80-mile-per-hour hurricane moving northwest at 15. This is where it's going, guys. It's probably going to strengthen even a little bit more before it weakens on approach to Mexico by the middle of next week. Mark, back to you.
Thanks, Doc. And of course, a lot of people have been hoping for a big warm-up across the south, and we will see that warmth, but we will also see the return to some rain across the south. Here's a setup for you. That trough in the jet stream of the storm system that's currently out west is going to make its way a little bit further to the east. As it does so, that southerly wind starts to pick up, so we're going to see that moisture pulling north into Texas, into Louisiana, into Arkansas, and as another cold front moves towards the east, that's going to be that lifting mechanism needed to give you showers and storms. So the forecast tomorrow shows some of that Midland, Amarillo, Wichita, you're back into the showers and storm regime. San Angelo, San Antonio, and Dallas, you'll see rain by Tuesday, some of which could be heavy at times. And that rain continues to move slowly further to the south and east. San Antonio to Houston, along I-10 there, Shreveport, Memphis, even as far north as I-40, you're going to be in and out of some of this rain as we go through the next couple of days. This rain will add up to quite a good amount. Look at Houston in a bullseye, 3 to 5 inches of rain. Not out of the question for you. Dallas will see 2 to 3 through Wednesday. And if you're in the Memphis area, Tuesday and Wednesday, look for that cold front to come through with rain. Also drops in temperatures quite considerably. So, Kate, get ready. Another soggy setup in the south.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to talk more about that coming up in just a half an hour. But between now and then, Weather Geeks is up. And it's got a really interesting tone this half hour. It's about women in the field of meteorology and the challenges they face. We'll be back in half an hour.
Currently in our area, 67 degrees under fair skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 69. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 60. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 75. Winds northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome to Weather Geeks. Today we will be talking about women in meteorology, and I'm joined by Laura Ferchioni, the Deputy Director of the National Weather Service. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Marshall.
Now, on Weather Geeks, we like to talk about all kinds of issues, and to some of the Weather Geeks out there, this may be a different topic, but the World Meteorological Organization says that only 12% of the U.S. Meteorological careers are held by female or women. What is the disparity in that? What are your thoughts on some of that?
So we're seeing that even our meteorologists in
charge of the 122 forecast offices that we have, only 13 of those are women.
Right.
So our statistics support those statistics as well. And we're all about statistics here on the Weather Geek Show.
Yeah, that is correct. And we see it not just in the National Weather Service, we see it in the private industry, we see it in the broadcast sector as well. STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, we see that women in those fields are dramatically lower. As a woman who's been very successful in a science career, what are your thoughts on why women aren't going into science in these fields?
So we're seeing more women go into science, but just not enough. And I always wanted to say, I'm not a feminist. I'm not going to be out there charging ahead with my flag for women. But I have to be a mentor for the women that are coming into science, so they know it is possible to be a meteorologist and to take on leadership positions in the National Weather Service.
Yeah, well, and I think you mentioned that the World Meteorological Organization has a gender conference coming up. In fact, perhaps sometime early this week or next week. Are you going to be attending that, or what are we going to learn from that conference?
I will be attending that conference next week in Geneva, and we're focusing on gender. And it's not just about women, but we have seen that more women are vulnerable to extreme weather. So we have to focus on those weather-related fatalities as per our mission and our focus, that we're trying to protect lives every day.
Yeah, and let's just cut right to the chase here. I know that as a woman, what are some of the challenges that you have personally experienced in terms of promotion level opportunities, decisions perhaps to raise a family? I know these are real issues out there. I just want to get them on the table.
That's right. So I held off on my career. I focused on my career. I didn't hold off on my career. I focused on my career prior to getting married and starting a family. I moved around a lot in the Weather Service, working in many different regions. In fact, I moved to Alaska as a single female at age 22.
Wow.
And that's a scary thing to do, to move away from your family. Going from a farm in Missouri to Kodiak, Alaska. Crazy.
Right. But you argue that you have to be willing to take risks, particularly as a young woman in a career, in order for advancement. You have to just step out there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Even before I went to the University of Missouri, a lot of people said, too big of a school, you won't have the network there, it's going to be too scary. You move to different places, you quickly find those networks, even through sports or faith-based community, those kind of things, where you start to feel comfortable. And when I first moved to Kodiak, the phone wasn't ringing. I didn't have my friends right there.
Right.
And it was a little scary at first, but you quickly develop those networks and move on.
Yeah, and I think that's a critical point, because there are old stereotypes out there that exist. Talk a little bit about this notion as a young leader in the field. I think you were 28 years of age when you became the meteorologist in charge of an office.
I was. I think it's funny, because when I moved to Juneau, right after Dennis, Floyd, and Irene, I was the WCM in Morehead City, then moved to Juneau as the MIC. I think I was the youngest MIC at 28.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And the joke is that I replaced the oldest MIC, who was 82.
Right.
So what does that mean?
82 and 28.
Celsius and Fahrenheit conversion.
See, even the deputy director of the Weather Service can get weather geeky here on Weather Geeks. But talk about that, because I think that there are perceptions about credibility of a young woman coming into that position versus someone that perhaps has an image of being more established and the boss. What was your experience there?
So even when I moved to Morehead City as the WCM, I moved from Alaska. I didn't necessarily have that tropical background, but I had volunteered and worked on my resume. I was the president of the local AMS chapters. I was the EEO diversity chairman for the region. I tried to do all these different things to make sure that folks knew I had the leadership skills, the team building skills, the organization, the time management, in order to fulfill those roles. When I moved to Morehead City, though, some folks were like, she's going to have to prove herself to me. You know? And I knew I just needed to prove myself to those emergency managers and to the people that I was serving and trying to protect their lives.
Absolutely. Just go in with your own level of confidence and don't worry about what other people think. Well, tell me a little bit about what Greg Carbon told you at the NWA meeting about ensembles. We know ensembles in weather and modeling, but how does it relate to this particular topic?
Right. So I've done many interviews, and one of the questions we ask is, what's your definition of diversity? And Greg had a great example that he used last week at the NWA, the National Weather Association, meeting last week in Salt Lake. And he said, diversity is just like an ensemble model. You're pulling in different different models to make the best solution. And that's really what we're trying to do, is make sure that our information is actionable. So if we don't have all these different solutions, all these different perspectives, we're not going to reach those more vulnerable communities.
Well, talk about, as the Deputy Director of the National Weather Service, the major weather agency in this country, what are some things that the National Weather Service or NOAA is trying to do to address this problem or this issue?
So a couple things, and if you look at it in regards to the storm, before the storm, we need to make sure that we are doing the outreach and the education to these more vulnerable communities, to these members of society. During the storm, we need to make sure that our messages are actionable and we understand those words that will trigger their reaction.
Exactly.
And then after the storm, we need to make sure that we're assessing those vulnerable communities as well. We often continue to go to the mayor, to the emergency manager, and we need to dig down deeper into those city blocks where we have seen more fatalities.
Yeah, I think that's right, because we tend to find various vulnerabilities in these storm situations. We're going to get into, in the next block, we're going to talk about some of the particular challenges of the television broadcaster and the women in that area. People are very familiar with that. But as we kind of come out of this segment, just sort of key messages, if you're trying to get into the private sector or the weather service and you're a woman, what would you leave in this block as the key message from your own experiences?
Yeah, so number one, and I said this last week at NWA as well, don't limit yourself geographically. Go out there, find those positions, get into the field, and don't be shy.
Okay, and that's really good advice. We're going to pick up on that. But next on Weather Geeks, Batgirl, Supergirl, Weather Girl. Just the name or feeding a stereotype? We'll discuss that. But first, our Geek of the Week, Dr. Margaret, but we all know her as Peggy Lamone, a current Senior Scientist Emeriti, National Center for Atmospheric Research, better known as NCAR. She's an AMS and a AAAS Fellow and was the 2010 AMS President and the last female president. Check out these pictures. They were taken in 1974 during the GATE experiment. That's Peggy and some of her colleagues.
Edward Jones, this is Shirley speaking. How may I help you? Oh, hey Neil, how are you? How was the trip?
With nearly 7 million investors,
He's right here. Hold on one second.
you'd expect us to have a highly skilled call center.
Kevin, Neil Hawley's on line 1.
Okay, great. And we do. It's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
That disease is for older people, not me. I take good care of myself. I'm active. I never saw it coming. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Pneumococcal pneumonia was horrible. The fatigue, the chest pains, difficulty breathing. It put me in the hospital. You don't want to go through what I did.
If you're over 50, talk to your doctor. You may be able to prevent it.
CNBC Wednesday nights, we're wheelin' and dealin'. The race is on with Shark Tank at 8 and 9 Eastern. Then it's the Car Chaser season premiere, Wednesday at 10. CNBC Wednesday night, wheelin' and dealin' on the fastest growing network in prime time. CNBC.
Currently in our area, 67 degrees under fair skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 69. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 60. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 75. Winds northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Mike Bettis,
Look at that monster.
the National Weather Association's Broadcaster of the Year.
Hi, I'm new
New Ensure Active Clear Protein drink.
Clear, huh?
I'm not juice or fancy water. I've got 8 grams of protein. New Ensure Active Clear Protein. 8 grams protein, 0 fat. Ensure. Take life in.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up?
Yep.
We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so
that time
we could, mess with the world.
What if there was a credit card where the reward was that new car smell and the freedom of the open road? A card that gave you that I'm 16 and just got my first car feeling. Presenting the Buy Power card from Capital One. Redeem earnings toward part or even all of a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac with no limits. So every time you use it, you're not just shopping for goods. You're shopping for something great. Learn more at buypowercard.com.
There it is. This is where I met your grandpa. Right under this tree.
Some things are worth holding on to.
They're hugging the tree.
That's why we got a Subaru.
Wasn't that tree?
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Clean up this holiday with the cordless Dyson DC59 vacuum. Expert service, unbeatable price, Best Buy.
The best advice for aspiring female meteorologists, I would say just get started. Don't be afraid to move away from your hometown, get into a smaller market, get that experience you need, dive into internship opportunities, any job you can get at a local station. I think experience is really key. Just go for it.
And welcome back to Weather Geeks. That was KNBC meteorologist Crystal Egger offering words of advice to young women who are interested in pursuing the broadcast meteorology career. And look, I've got to just start right. I've got a bone to pick with this. I wrote a blog earlier. You often hear the terminology weather girl. You've never hear of one of our male colleagues as a weather boy. So why is it okay to talk about weather girls? I think there's a level of disrespect for colleagues. Some of these colleagues have degrees in meteorology and science, but yet are facing this sort of objectification or marginalization in the field. What are your thoughts on that?
So I've been called the weather girl before, and you just embrace it. Oftentimes you're the only female on station, and so they say, you know, they don't say, I want to talk to the female, or that girl told me about the weather. It's usually accurate, though. So
Sure. Well, but you know, as the president of the American Meteorological Society last year, I had colleagues in the field coming up to me saying, what can the AMS or the NWA do? I get these objectifying emails. I've got consultants telling me how to wear my hair, how to position myself and as the father of a daughter, I want to think that she is admired for what she knows, not just what she looks like. I mean, I know that you've experienced some of this, and we see it.
Yeah, and it was funny. It makes me think of one time my grandma, I said, I've got a new suit for this interview I'm going to do.
Right.
And she goes, it doesn't matter what's below your shoulders. It's what's right up here in your head, and you focus on that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, but I think it really is. I hear the feedback. I've seen it out there. This is a real challenge, particularly in the broadcast community. And for many of the people that actually consume weather information, the only scientist they see is a TV meteorologist. And I think there's a real challenge here. But I think that role models like yourself and Peggy Lamone and others offer a good template for young girls out there. What would you say in terms of your perspective, not as the National Weather Service Deputy Director, but on this issue in the broadcast community in general?
Yeah, just try to focus on the information you know. We all went to school. We've all got the degrees in meteorology. We've got the science.
Yeah. And I want to get in there because we did some research. 34 stations in the top 10 markets employ chief meteorologists. Only 4 of those are women. And you see that on there. That's around that 11 to 12% number. I just find that unacceptable. But we've got to get the pipeline stuff. Is that right?
We do. We have to get the pipeline, and we have to make sure that we have policies in place that not only help those women stay in the workforce and have that work-life balance, but also help their husbands that might be in the office at the same time.
Good point.
And so the paternity leave for the men can help the women stay in the workforce as well. So it has to be equal. It has to be a partnership.
Yeah, that's really a great point, because we've got to break down stereotypes. A young TV meteorologist shouldn't have to go into a market and feel that she has to establish her credibility versus someone else who may look more senior or maybe a male figure. So these are issues that we would have to address, and I think it's important, and that's why we have you on the show. You're a role model for some of these people. Now, what we want to talk about in the next block is, irrespective of whether you're a male or a female, the role of a meteorologist within the National Weather Service is changing. So we want to get into some of that in the next block as well. And so when we go to the next block, we'll touch on that. And we're going to geek out, in fact, on the future of the National Weather Service and the evolving roles of forecasters. NOAA is looking to hire people with a variety of backgrounds. We'll explain next on Weather Geeks.
There was no question she was the one. She reminds you every day. But your erectile dysfunction? That could be a question of blood flow. Cialis for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment is right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is also the only daily ED tablet approved to treat symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
Apples are good, and Strongbow Hard Cider better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse? The bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Ring, ring.
Progresso.
Used to people have my kids loving vegetables.
Well, vegetables taste better in our savory broth. Vegetables?
No, soup.
Oh, soup.
Loaded with vegetables, packed with taste.
Melissa, what do my wife, uncle, children, and niece all have in common?
I don't know.
Absolutely nothing. That's why I go to Walmart to do all of my holiday shopping.
Great idea.
I can get that Xbox One for my son.
I want one of those.
A Keurig 2.0 for my wife.
Ooh, I'd like one.
A Fitbit for my daughter.
Oh, that sounds really
And
fun.
frozen stuff for my niece.
Kids would love that.
What are you going to get me?
The Samsung TV.
Oh, I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
With Walmart's unbeatable prices, you can make every day till Christmas count.
CNBC Wednesday nights, we're wheeling and dealing. The race is on with Shark Tank at 8 and 9 Eastern. Then it's the Car Chaser season premiere. Wednesday at 10. CNBC Wednesday night, wheeling it.
Watching the NFL on Xfinity from Comcast is like having the best seat in the house on game day. Because NFL Red Zone gives you a front row seat to the biggest plays around the league, including every touchdown from every game Sunday afternoons, live, all on one channel. Get NFL Red Zone from NFL Network when you add the sports entertainment package for just $4.99 more a month for 12 months. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Visit Comcast.com/NFL today.
This holiday season, we want to spread a little happiness. We make it easy for you to get all your gifts now with FlexPay, a free and easy way to divide your purchases into monthly payments with any credit or debit card. You get your gifts home now and pay them off later with no additional fees. Shop happy this holiday season with HSN gift cards, extended returns, and you can easily track your packages at hsn.com. Gift happy this holiday, only on HSN.
Or go to HumanaBigBook.com. The savings are too big to miss.
Thursday, a Weather Channel first, the Winter Weather Prep Rally, a day dedicated to prepping and surviving winter's worst.
Best advice, try not to travel.
In the morning.
You've got our winter weather outlook.
And at night.
This is an incredibly deadly time of year. Yeah, it's brutal.
Watch the Winter Weather Prep Rally, Thursday morning and night on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 66 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 69. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 60. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 75. Winds northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weather Geeks as we talk with Laura Fergione about the future of the National Weather Service. National Weather Service then and now in the future. Now, look, I come from a fairly traditional meteorology program, a lot of the theory, dynamics, thermodynamics, but you would suggest that the skill set for the National Weather Service meteorologist is evolving. Is that right?
It is. You still need those core classes, those classes that drove us crazy in college, the physics, the calculus, the differential equations.
Right.
You still got to have that base, but there's other areas to focus as well. You've got to work on those communication skills because getting that message out to the public so they can take action.
Right. And how is the National Weather Service evolving to meet this change? I know in our program at the university that I am, we have GIS courses and have some social sciences courses. Are those skill sets that you guys are looking for?
The social science is critical, and that's where we're looking at, again, gender in weather, forecasting gender, so we know exactly the words to use in order for the forecast. And folks need to be ready, responsive, and resilient, and it's that responsiveness where the communication comes into play, where our forecast, they know what the actions are and they know what actions to take.
And yeah, I know one of the big initiatives within the Weather Service is the Weather Ready Nation initiative. How do these evolving skill sets and some of the, I guess, 3 or 4 R's, I didn't catch all of them, how do they fit into this Weather Ready Nation framework?
Yeah, ready, responsive, and resilient.
Yeah,
it's really R's, 3 R's, and it's really about reducing weather-related fatalities. That's what we're all about here, making sure that folks know the action to take, but they've got to be prepared in advance, and that's where we have to be working with these more vulnerable communities.
Yeah, and yeah, you've talked about these vulnerable communities quite a bit, and in terms of, I mean, we've seen quite a few flood events. We saw Superstorm Sandy a couple of years ago, which we dealt with on the show last week. As the Deputy Director, what keeps you up at night as far as the National Weather Service in terms of these emerging threats that we see in weather and that we see going forward? I mean, I just want to kind of get in, pick your brain. What keeps you up at night, Lauren?
So people becoming complacent. So we have had, the hurricane season hasn't been that active. We didn't have that many tornadoes this season either. Right. And tsunamis, the threat that, you know, people just forget about it. And so you have to be ready for the storm when it comes. So that preparedness in September was preparedness month, so make sure you've got those weather radios, the extra batteries, you've got the food, and you know where to go. You have a plan with your family. You've discussed it in advance where you're going to meet if you can't go back to your home.
Right. And yeah, you mentioned tsunami. It's often one of the things I get. We're weather geeks here, but tsunamis are actually waves in the ocean caused by a disturbance. I often get the question about whether that's something in the atmosphere. So when you mentioned that came to mind. Going forward, if I were to ask you 10 years out, what does the National Weather Service look like?
Ideally, we're going to look like the national labor statistics. Half of the nation is women. Half of our meteorologists should be women as well. And so we're back to the ensembles. We'll have an ensemble model, and again, we'll have a weather-ready nation.
Yeah, and that's important. We're going to be out at the American Meteorological Society in Phoenix in a couple of weeks, and you know, as the AMS is one of the leading professional societies in this field, we still have a lack of AMS fellows. These are the top-level awardees within our field, top-level several national awardee recipients as well. And that's likely because of this pipeline issue. So we've got to get more in the pipeline in order to qualify for some of these positions. So any final thoughts there?
Yeah, I think we see the tide changing. I think the outlook is positive. I'm encouraged. The head of the NOAA, Dr. Sullivan, is a female. Our Secretary of Commerce, Penny Pritzker, and the Deputy Director for the National Weather Service.
And I think Dr. Jane Lubchenco was the first female NOAA administrator ever. And we're going to have to end it right there. Thank you so much for joining us. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the show. You can find us on Twitter at WXGeeksTWC. We've also got a Facebook page where you'll find clips from today's show and some of our past shows as well. We'll see you next week here on the Weather Channel and geek out again on Weather Geeks.
Progresso.
I can't believe I'm eating bacon and rich creamy cheese before my sister's wedding.
Well, it's only 100 calories, so you'll be ready for that dress.
Uh-huh.
You don't love the dress?
I love my sister.
40 flavors, 100 calories or less.
I mean, for the year. Hi, sorry, just want to say, I bundled home and auto with State Farm, saved $760. Love this guy. So.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky!
Savings worth talking about. State Farm. Alaska. There's only one place you can stand on top of the world, experience nature on its own terms, and create a little wildlife of your own. Dance to a different drummer and do something you've never done before. Then just when you thought you'd seen it all, you realize it's only Tuesday. Begin your adventure at AlaskaBeyondYourDreams.com.
Making jackets that are built to perform anywhere is hard work. And at LL Bean, we take our job very seriously. Guaranteed quality, no matter what you're up against. From LL Bean.
Lowe's presents How to Say Goodbye to 1993 Forever.
Goodbye.
Hurry into Lowe's and get Stainmaster carpet installed free by Thanksgiving.
A 3D white smile has the power to captivate. That's why Shakira uses Crest 3D White with White Lock technology, removing up to 90% of surface stains and locking out future stains. So your smile always steals the show. And to get even faster whitening, use this collection for a whiter smile in just 2 days. Crest 3D White. Life opens up with a whiter smile.
Somewhere out there, a high-tech factory is being built, preparing to manufacture world-class products. And it's happening right here in America. At WeatherTech, American workers in American factories are creating the highest quality automotive accessories, including laser-measured, custom-fit floor liners. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech, proudly made in America.
Thursday, a day dedicated to prepping and surviving winter's worst.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Watch the Winter Weather Prep Rally Thursday morning and night on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 66 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 69. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 60. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 75. Winds northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
If you missed tonight on the Weather Channel, you'll never know
how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, tonight at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
It's been already 2 years because of the Hurricane Sandy. The event got canceled and we couldn't run. But it's been already 24 months. We're very excited.
I hear it's going to be very windy today.
The biggest issue is the wind and the cold.
We should stay in the middle of the pack to avoid the gusts.
If it's the headwind, we might be running in place.
Might be 26 miles in place.
Ooh, well, I say a tailwind would be a good thing there. Yeah. Welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm Kate Parker.
And I'm Mark Elliott. You know, as a runner, you actually try to angle yourself near the other runners so they take the wind and you don't. So if it's a crosswind, you're going to see everybody trying to get to the other side of the street. And so it's like drafting. If you're driving a car behind a big truck, you can draft behind it. You can do that as a runner too. And so that's what's happening in the marathon right now.
And you need to with all that wind, but it's not just the runners that we have going on this weekend. We have some other stuff. Got a hashtag your weekend. We want to know what you're up to. Yeah, so tweet at us. Here's what's going on. And oh my gosh, don't you wish you were here?
I do.
Where go? Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful island this morning. Look at that sunshine. You can't beat it. Now, that cool air did reach as far south as Florida, though, so a little farther to the north there. But man, going even farther north, it is rough stuff this morning.
Yeah, my goodness. Boston, Portland. So we're loving the Portland cam because you see all the snow on the roofs, even though it's not on the ground. The temperature there is about 34. The snow actually accumulating on the roof means their insulation is working. The heat inside the building is not escaping through the roof. So instead, that roof is cold like the outside and snow is able to accumulate it on there. If you actually were the one house without snow on the roof, it means you need new insulation. Something to check on. There's going to be plenty of roofs with snow on them as we continue to track this coastal storm. Right now, Bangor, Maine, 32. You're going to start seeing some accumulation, some heavier bands. You see right along the coast these deeper blues setting up. We've got some heavier snow coming on in. Augusta, this says fog, but that is probably an automated station that is seeing that lower visibility because of the snow. So some snow, some fog nearby. Certainly lots of wind. Look at all these wind reports. About 50 reports just in eastern Massachusetts. Most of those regarding wind and wind damage because of this coastal storm. And you know what? The rain crashed over to snow a couple of hours ago. In Boston, you're seeing wind gusts up to about 30 miles per hour and some light snow being reported at this point. And we can continue to track these winds. Notice the classic nor'easter is not being met here. These winds are not coming out of the north and east unless you're all the way up in northern Maine. The rest of you are seeing northerly winds or even slightly offshore winds, even as we're still seeing precipitation thrown back into the area. So you're seeing the cold air getting dragged in by these winds, and you're seeing the moisture thrown back into that cold air. That's why you're starting to see some snow. Now, speaking of these winds, as we go through the rest of our Sunday, they will be calming down a little bit. It'll take a while to totally get this wind out of the picture. It'll also take a while to get the snow out of the picture. Accumulation's more than a foot there in northern Maine. That's looking pretty likely. Kate, over to you.
Oh, well, more than 50,000 runners are facing those winds on the streets for today's 44th New York City Marathon. Our Reagan Medji is in New York City and explains that it's not just the cold that the runners need to be concerned with, but all that wind.
We're here at the starting point for the New York City Marathon on Staten Island. And basically today, for the 50,000 runners expected to do that finish line to cross it, the biggest issue is the wind and the cold. This is a great example of what I can show right now as to how people, all these runners, are trying to keep warm. They're along all the live trucks here, just making sure that they can keep their muscles warm before their big race, 26.2 miles. And we're going to show you more of what these runners are dealing with. Look at all of them just packed to the gills with layers upon layers of clothing. Now, once this race starts, they're going to be stripping off those layers. And what's going to happen to the clothing is basically going to be donated to Goodwill for the homeless shelters in the area, in the New York City area. So this big race will kick off. It will go from Staten Island to Brooklyn to Queens to Manhattan, Bronx, and then back to Manhattan, 26.2 miles. And of course, we were speaking talking to runners today, and they said the wind is going to be at their faces. And a good tip, you want to stay in the middle of the race, not on the edges, so that way you don't have to worry about the wind hitting you from both sides. So we're here in New York City for the 44th annual New York City Marathon, and we're going to get going, and this is going to be a great race for all. Back to you.
Reagan, I'm not going to lie, those runners look miserable. They look awful out there with those winds. Man, it is feeling raw in the city today. Thankfully, they'll warm up soon. And not just the runners, we're talking about the whole Northeast. We're getting a nice little surge of warmth. Not quite yet, only 46 degrees in New York right now. Look at that latest wind gust, 28 miles an hour. That's what we just saw. So we are going to be looking at those gusty winds to continue throughout the day. But then our little friend, this high pressure, moves on out. This is going to allow that warmth, that tongue of warmth, to come right up out of the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to allow temperatures to go back up close to average. And we're talking about for places into the Northeast. So a little bit of relief on the way. And if you're not a fan of that cooler air in the south, you've got relief on the way too. But 50 degrees today in the capital, Pittsburgh. You're going to be at 47 degrees. So nice and chilly. But by tomorrow, 63 in the nation's capital, 58 in New York City. By Tuesday, look at these temperatures. You're already back up in the 60s and 70s. So a big change there. Melting all the snow, Mark.
Yeah, and a lot of people in the south begging for that snow melt. The ski resorts, not so much. I mean, look at Mount LeConte and Great Smoky Mountains, well over 1.5 feet, almost 2 feet in Mount LeConte. But you could go all the way down into Georgia and South Carolina and still see several inches of snow. And our own Mike Sodell was in the thick of it, camping out in Sugar Mountain, North Carolina, where skiers made the most out of the early snowfall.
We're at the base of Sugar Mountain Ski Resort here in western North Carolina. In compliments of the Arctic Air Mass and November, they opened this morning at 9 a.m., their second earliest start on record. And some of the first snowboarders on the slopes, Luke and Charles, all the way from Charleston, South Carolina. You turned on the TV yesterday and you had to get on the road.
Yep, it's about a 5.5 hour drive from Charleston. And, you know, my whole family likes to snowboard a lot. And it's Luke's first time over here, so we thought we'd give it a try because, you know, it looked pretty good.
Well, it's pretty nice up there. Hey, Luke, I saw you come down. I didn't realize at the time it was your first run. How did it feel?
It felt amazing.
So you're stoked now. You're going to be doing this every weekend. You can get up here, huh?
Yes, sir.
Any excuse?
Yep.
Okay, they're going to be skiing and snowboarding up here until 4:30. You guys going to be out here almost to sunset?
Yep.
It's going to be great. And we got the skiers behind us lining up. What a day here at Sugar Mountain. Temperatures in the low 20s, heading up to about freezing. And it will stay cold into tomorrow. The idea behind making all the snow is the man-made snow lasts longer, so they get the base down, despite the fact that temperatures will be warming up in the next couple of days here in the mountains of western North Carolina. But today, it's beautiful. I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel from the Weather Channel here at Sugar Mountain, North Carolina.
Thanks, Mike. And it's beautiful unless you don't like the cold. But here's the thing. If you want that warm up, that's on the way as well. Right now, you're seeing northerly winds, lots of dry air, lots of very chilly air coming down from the south. But that's going to change. That wind direction switches around. So although you're seeing 60s and low 70s tomorrow, by Tuesday, you're closer to 70 in Atlanta, 76 in Montgomery. Wednesday, check out Tallahassee, jumping up to 80, which is incredible considering where you were just, let's say 12 hours ago. The overnight temps well into the 30s. So that was a nice warm-up across the Tallahassee area. We're also checking out places like Atlanta, where you're well below average today by about 10 degrees, right? 58 degrees. Tomorrow, close to average, and then a quick jump, Kate, to above average conditions just in time for the middle of the week. Over to you.
Oh, yeah, we got that warmth in your 7-day forecast next. But how about those winds during tonight's high wire walk in Chicago? Nick Walenda, he's going to get a lot of help from Jim Cantori.
Currently in our area, 67 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 69. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 60. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 75. Winds northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Let's hide in the attic.
No, in the basement. Why can't we just get in the running car?
Are you crazy? Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Smart. Yeah, okay.
If you're in a horror movie, you make poor decisions. That's what you do.
I'm being quiet. Breathing on me.
If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Skyscraper Live, tonight at 7 on Discovery.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up?
Yep.
We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so
that time
we could, mess with the world.
It's here, in your floor's crevices, that vacuums leave microscopic allergens like these pollens and mold spores. But the Dyson DC65 uses a self-adjusting cleaner head for improved suction on hard floors and deep cleaning on carpets, while powerful cyclone technology captures even microscopic dirt and safely locks it all in here. DC65 sucks up more dust, dirt, and allergens than any other vacuum across carpets and hard floors.
I've always loved exploring and looking for something better. That's the way I look at life. Especially now that I live with a higher risk of stroke due to AFib, a type of irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. I was taking warfarin, but I wondered if I kept digging, could I come up with something better? My doctor told me about Eliquis for 3 important reasons. 1, in a clinical trial, Eliquis was proven to reduce the risk of stroke better than warfarin. 2, Eliquis had less major bleeding than warfarin. And 3, unlike warfarin, there's no routine blood testing.
Don't stop taking Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to, as stopping increases your risk of having a stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for any bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
Those 3 important reasons are why Eliquis is a better find for me.
Ask your doctor today if Eliquis is right for you.
Thought it'd be bigger.
There's nothing I can't reach in my Subaru.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Gorilla Tape, of course.
Gorilla Tape's double-thick adhesive grips rough and uneven surfaces for a strong, weather-resistant hold for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Apples are good. A Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Well, hi there, Chicago. A beautiful blue sky for you, but this picture doesn't tell the whole story. It is chilly, especially compared to where we've been recently. The southerly winds are cranking. That's going to help warm things up, but I don't know, kind of chilly if you're, stepping out of the top of a skyscraper tonight.
I bet our Midwesterners sure like that friendly greeting. Well, hello there, Chicago.
Hi there, yeah.
Yeah, so tonight Nick Wallenda is out to make history after his daring high wire walks across the Grand Canyon and Niagara Falls. Now he's taken on Chicago.
And why not? And as our Jim Cantore shows us, the wind could add an extra challenge to today's walk, as if he needs another challenge, right?
Today is the day. Actually, it'll be tonight after the sun goes down when Nick Wallenda potentially breaks 2 world records. One, starting on that rope right there, heading all the way up to the Leo Burnett building. It's a 15 to 18 degree incline. And of course, with the winds now to the south, that wind will be in his face. Then once Nick completes that walk, he'll go down the elevator, come back up to the West Tower, I should say, and work his way across what is going to be the blindfold walk. You can see that wire right in through there. Now, Nick's actually trained blindfolded. We saw him in Florida, and he was basically showing us how he trains blindfold. He puts a blindfold on and walks across the wire. He has his family members shake that wire, try and set him off. But imagine what it's like if you take away your eyesight. I mean, that's a key part of your balance. We got a chance to talk to Nick's father this morning, Terry, and this is what he had to say when we asked him how he felt about Nick walking blindfolded.
Well, when he first told me, I thought he was nuts. But he proved to me that, he could do it, and he trained very hard. It's very different because his feet actually become his eyes. So he doesn't step off the side of the wire. He uses his feet to feel where he's going, so he keeps walking in that straight line across the wire.
So my purpose here tonight is going to monitor the weather. You can see the winds are already shifting around a little bit. They should come in out of the south. Temperatures will be in the 40s, but our wind chills will make it feel like it's in the 30s. And that may be another challenge for Nick, as he is from Florida and certainly not used to this cold here in Chicago. Reporting from high atop of the city, I'm meteorologist Jim Cantori.
Thanks, Jim. And it is difficult to get used to that cold of Chicago. Even this, where right now your high today in the low 50s, the wind will be one of the biggest factors, actually increasing slightly as we work our way towards that walk time. The gusts, those are the biggest factors, right? You get a little bit of an extra kick, and that's what shakes that wire. Temperatures will be slowly falling into the low 40s. Plus, this is for your forecast on the ground. He's going to be up in the air, so the wind will be stronger, the temperatures will be a little bit lower, and it all adds up to quite the hair-raising event. So, Jim, we're all counting on you to keep the weather in line for this walk. Of course, the walk is going to be exciting tonight. Jim Cantori co-hosting along with Willie Geist and Natalie Morales. It all starts at 7 Eastern on Discovery. Kate, over to you.
Okay, so Mark, we're taking a live look right now at Times Square, and look at the camera. See how it's kind of shaking and wiggling around on your screen? That's how gusty the winds are. We actually have a lot of power outages still going on in New York. In fact, we've had over 20,000 throughout the morning. So a lot of power outages thanks to those winds. And guess what else we have? Winds that have been consistently over the last about 3 hours or so in Bangor, Maine at the criteria for blizzard status. We also have that visibility. Michael Butler, our weather producer, and I were just looking at this. That is at that quarter mile or less. So I think we may actually see blizzard conditions confirmed sometime soon. We'll have to wait and see, but looks like it could very well be that in Bangor right now as we're talking. Let's talk about what's going on today in the west over the Rockies. You're going to see some snow that starts to kick up heading into tomorrow. So good news for skiers. I know that you'll be looking to hit those slopes as we get later into the week because conditions improve as this system exits on out to the east. So that's going to continue pushing off to the east, keeping it wet through North Texas. There's a flood concern there for the early part of this week. The soil can only absorb water so fast. So if we get that rain coming down too quickly, we could see some problems there. That goes into South Texas on Wednesday, and we start to see a couple more showers enter the northeast. How about a big rebound in temperatures? Temperatures going to be much more pleasant over the next couple of days, but it looks wet for the end of the week in the east, Mark.
It absolutely does, and of course we're following all that winter weather in your winter weather update. That is coming up next. Dr. Greg Postel will follow who's getting the snow now.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our signature rotisserie chicken, starting at just $6.99. And this holiday season, spend more time with family and friends. Let the holiday experts do the cooking. Only at Boston Market.
Tomcat bait kills up to 12 mice faster than Decon. What will we do with all of these dead mice? Tomcat presents Dead Mouse Theater.
Hey, old frick.
Hey, Ignore.
What's up with you?
Funny you ask. I'm actually here to pillage your town.
But we went to summer camp together.
Summer camp is over.
Tomcat. Engineered to kill.
Just tell us your budget, and the Name Your Price tool helps you find a whole range of coverages. No one else gives you options like that.
No one at all. No one at all. No one. Wake up. Oh. You okay, buddy? I just had a dream that Progressive had this thing called...
Your budget, and the Name Your Price tool helps you find a whole...
Isn't a dream, is it? Nope.
Sorry.
You know that thing freaks me out. He can hear you. He didn't mean that, Kevin.
Yes, he did.
Keeping our competitors up at night. Now that's Progressive.
Currently in our area, 67 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 69. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 60. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 75. Winds northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Wearing glasses with just any progressive lenses? See the difference with Verilux, the only progressive lens brand with lenses designed using wave technology. Enjoy smooth transitions and sharp vision. Never compromise. Ask your eye care professional for Verilux.
Ask your eye care professional about Transitions signature lenses.
I think everyone I knew growing up had a Lazy Boy recliner in the house. We'd be watching cartoons or whatever, and if Dad came home, boom, out of there. That was the dad chair. So it's funny that my family's favorite place to sit is made by Lazy Boy too. Seriously, the sofa, the love seat, all this. Good luck kicking me out of my Lazy Boy furniture now.
Right now, save on a great selection of furniture. You won't believe what you'll find.
Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
Introducing York Minis. A bite-sized new way to enjoy the full-size sensation of peppermint and rich, dark chocolate. New York Minis. Get the sensation.
Apples are good. A Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse? The bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Why do you want to get everybody Spring Valley vitamins from Walmart? Because you need him to feel healthy for your big reunion. Because you need to feel the moves, not the ears.
Dance Team Captain 94.
And because you need Grandpa to feel like he has more energy than they do.
Alltech Roofing, the area's premier roofing company since 1984. We are a family-owned and operated business, and we specialize in roof replacement, repair, and new construction of all roof types. Alltech Roofing is proud to have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and have received numerous awards for quality and workmanship. Join our legions of satisfied customers today by calling Alltech Roofing for a free quote on any of your roofing needs.
For my new kitchen, do I want traditional or contemporary? Range or cooktop? Electric or gas? 36, 48, or 60-inch? Side by side, over and under, French door? Integrated or built-in? 18, 30, 36, or 48-inch? Single or double? Red or black? What about wine storage? What kind of hand convection? What about ice?
Our experts turn questions into answers at the Sub-Zero and Wolf Living Kitchen.
And even pay the return postage. Try NoNo risk-free today.
Thursday, a Weather Channel first, the Winter Weather Prep Rally, a day dedicated to prepping and surviving winter's worst.
Best advice, try not to travel.
In the morning,
You've got our winter weather outlook.
And at night.
This is an incredibly deadly time of year.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Watch the Winter Weather Prep Rally, Thursday morning and night on the Weather Channel.
Well, hey, look here. Some snow at Appalachian State, and this was for the game against Georgia State. Look at that. That's some rough tailgating. What do you think about that, Mark?
It's tough tailgating. It was tough playing, too. A lot of the kids from Georgia had never seen snow before. I mean, it's their first year playing in Division I.
Yeah.
And I believe, are they Division I, Georgia State? I don't know. That might be Georgia Southern. It's hard to keep all the Georgia schools straight.
There are a lot of them. All right, let's go ahead and talk about what else we have a lot of. And that's a lot of snow in spots and a lot of observations that are coming pretty close to blizzard status in Maine. So we got to go out to the lab.
Yeah, Doc, what are you watching? Lots of snow filling in that map now.
You got it, right? We can look at Portland, Maine. Look at this tower cam from Portland, Maine. This is a beautiful shot. If you miss snow, this is hopefully going to satisfy some of that longing, because it is snowing, and it's snowing pretty hard with a lot of wind. You can see, that's the snowflakes flying down like crazy. But you know what I see also on this picture? The roads are primarily wet. The temperatures are generally just a little above freezing, so we're not seeing a lot of accumulation on the roads. It's happening on the rooftops and on the grassy surfaces where the temperatures at the surface are just a little bit colder. There we go. This is how much more snow we expect to fall across Maine. We're going to get a lot. 8 to 12 in parts of down east Maine, maybe even more than that. It is going to be also very windy. The roads all across Maine are going to be very difficult to travel on for most of the afternoon, if not the entire afternoon. Travel speeds along I-95 throughout Maine have been reduced to 45 miles per hour. We got a wind gust of 54 miles per hour at Rockport Harbor, Maine. And look at all this snow in there, guys. See some of those darker shades of blue? There is S+ in there, meaning heavy snow with visibility likely under half of a mile and accumulating pretty quickly. But it is also kind of a wet snow here, too, because temperatures aren't that much, below freezing, if they are at all. They're right around 32, 33, 31. So we've seen quite a bit of accumulation here. And we're going to see quite a bit more as we move through the rest of the afternoon. 7 inches at Lincoln, Maine. How about that? And this is the culprit. This is the big storm in the satellite pictures. Same circulation, essentially, that moved across South Carolina yesterday and brought them significant snow. Now is up here approaching the Gulf of Maine. Still really strong, bringing strong winds. There's the low pressure center. It's actually, I was looking at some numbers recently. It's more like in the high 980s right now, but that doesn't matter. It's essentially past its prime in terms of surface development, but there is a significant amount of snow on the backside, the northwest quadrant here of this cyclone, and that's very typical, where you get a lot of rising motion right back in here as air comes swirling around, then goes up right in there. Well, that is leading to the snow that we've seen across parts of Massachusetts. There, the air aloft has been really cooled by that rising air, but the surface temperatures are above freezing, even warmer than they are in Maine. Look at Foxborough, Mass. We're going to play a football game later on today, and that's pretty cool. You gotta love playing football in that. So let's time it out now for everybody across parts of New England. Really, it's beginning to wind down by 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Game time, the precip should be over in Foxborough, I think. And then Maine, you're gonna have to deal with significant snow throughout the evening hours, probably not till 10 or 11 until it's over, dropping in some places more than a foot. Mark, gonna send it back to you with Vance.
Yeah, we are following the rain across the south, that's for sure, Doc. I think every football game needs to be played outside, that's for sure. Rain returning into the south over the next couple of days, all thanks to this big dip in the jet stream, right? This jet stream dip moves into the plains. We're going to see out ahead of that dip, the southerly winds kick in. And so when you start to see that southerly flow, that's going to bring the moisture back up to the north. Another cold front is going to be tapping its way towards the east. So this cold front, as it slides east, is going to run right on in to that big moisture plume. And so we're going to see another round of rain, or showers and storms moving into the center of the country. Really a different pattern from what we've been seeing, right? We need more rain across Texas, and here it comes. Showers, maybe even some thunderstorms, not out of the question, and a pretty steady rain event across southern Texas into Louisiana, southern Arkansas, Mississippi. You're going to get it on the mix by the midweek. So Wednesday, we're looking at the rain for you. This cold front, although not really packing too much of a punch, will have lots of moisture to work with. And so we could see some pretty substantial rains. How much rain are we talking? Well, look at this. How about Houston in that bullseye? 3 to 5 inches of rain. Not out of the question for you. Central Texas, you're going to see pretty hefty amounts as well. 1 to 2 for Dallas, 2 to 3 in Oklahoma into Arkansas. So many places will see some very beneficial rains. Memphis, this will drop your temperatures again Wednesday, upper 50s with some showers. Kate, over to you.
Rain, strong winds, heavy snow. There are odds that you are seeing all three of those in New England right now. Still ahead, where today's coastal storm is making the biggest impact and when we expect it to move on.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 69. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 60. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 75. Winds northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I saw it like this was when one of the hurricanes came blowing through Cape Cod. But the nor'easters do this here in Sandwich more than anything else.
Well, our Halloween storm has morphed into a full-blown northeast coastal storm today. Pounding surf, heavy rain, and vicious winds responsible for all kinds of power outages. 85,000 outages and climbing from Maine to New York State.
And this storm also cranking out a lot of snow. You're looking live at Holton, Maine, where it is really starting to add up there. Take a look at that video. And get this, someone could end up with a lucky foot of snow before it's all said and done.
And from a brutal coastal storm to brutal heat, actors from the hit TV show The Walking Dead explain why working in Georgia's sweltering summers might be more dangerous than the zombies themselves. That's all right here, right now on Weather Center Live.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm Kate Parker.
And I'm Mark Elliott. And of course it is the weekend and we want to see what you are up to. We want to see images of what your weekend looks like using the hashtag YourWeekend.
Yeah, and those of you on Long Island in Surf City, New Jersey, dealing with the storm surge from our coastal storm, take a look at this from Mike posting to our page, our Facebook page, showing the bay in the streets once again. Now, folks don't think about storm surge in association with some of these coastal lows, but I mean, it's this similar setup to what you have with a hurricane. So obviously you're going to get some of that water shoved inland, and that's what's happened here. Some big impacts this morning from this storm, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely, especially for coastal portions of New England. Look at Boston. That is a snowflake on the lens, slowly melting away because of the camera itself. But yeah, snow is flying there. Portland, Maine, the classic view of the roofs starting to accumulate while the grounds, the streets there, just wet. They have some treatment on them. Plus, the temperatures are marginal at best, 33 degrees or so for many of these locations. But we are tracking this coastal storm and tracking it carefully because it's all about those temperatures, right? Boston 35, Portland 35, but the upper levels of the atmosphere have cooled down. And to get snow, it matters a whole lot less about what the temperature is where you're standing as to what it's doing way up above your head. So the column of air is cold enough to support snow all the way down to the ground, and then it is melting on contact. We can zoom into eastern Massachusetts. Here's Boston, here's New Bedford, there's the Cape. You get far enough east and it's all about rain still, but you know what? We're seeing snow further inland where we have seen that stuff cooled down quite dramatically. Now, further north, I-95, you'll be driving into some of that snowfall. If you're traveling 95 through the Bangor area, you got to get right off to the really the extreme eastern side, down East Maine, to see any rain. This is where we're going to see some really big snowfall totals. Zooming out for you, we can see that this is the center of our area of low pressure off the coast, throwing back that moisture, that northwest side of the low, seeing pretty good dynamics for hefty snowfall. In fact, we can time this out through the rest of today. Look at Maine. You're in the snow at 5 o'clock. You're still in some of that snow at 8 o'clock. And then it really starts to taper off. The winds shift direction for everybody to that drier offshore flow. And that's the end of our storm. But we have a ways to go still, and the totals here will be very impressive. A widespread swath of close to a foot. Some locations right there near the Canadian border could see more than a foot of snow still to come. Kate, over to you.
Oh, yeah, and in Maine, you are definitely feeling it. That's why we have NBC's Dylan Dreyer covering it for us in Bangor.
Hey, Kate, yes, it has been getting worse here in Bangor, Maine. You know, the rain was falling last night and then temperatures continued to drop and the snow took hold early this morning. Already we have about 2 to 3 inches of snow on the ground. Visibility has been reduced down to a half a mile at times and wind gusts have been up near 40 miles per hour. This storm system will continue to strengthen to our south and east. It's also producing really heavy rain down across parts of southeastern Massachusetts. Nantucket has already seen wind gusts up around 65 65 miles per hour. They've also reported some snowflakes. Now, it's not unusual for Maine to see snow this early in the season. The average date of the first snowfall is November 1st, but the average date of the first 12-inch snowfall is usually closer to Christmas. And there is in the forecast today about 9 to 12 inches of snow possible for this area. Right along the immediate coast of Maine, though, we're not really looking at for as much snow, but we are still going to see those wind gusts, and at times they could be as high as 50 to 60 miles per hour. So visibility will be reduced. Roads will be treacherous. It's recommended, since especially it's Sunday, that you just stay indoors today. And also keep in mind, power outages are a possibility when you have this heavy, wet snow. But the storm should be gone by tomorrow morning. In fact, by the morning commute on Monday, it's just the slippery roads drivers will be worried about. Kate?
Oh, thanks so much, Dylan. I know you're freezing out there, so I hope you get to warm up a little soon. Now, you're used to the snow up north, but that's not the case in the south, and everybody is still abuzz about yesterday's snowfall. In fact, take a look here. Gatlinburg, Tennessee, snow covering those fall colors. So you just started getting those beautiful colors really coming in, and then you have snow on top of it in places like Tennessee, even North Georgia, and into the Carolinas. You had snow as well. So it was actually a record snowfall for the earliest snow to fall in Columbia, South Carolina to date. We had technically a trace there, but over 4 inches, just a little bit west. Look at what we had through the mountains, though. Man, the Smokies, they got just pummeled. We had up to 22 inches. How about a little different? Let's take off those jackets, but maybe just 1 or 2 of them, because you still may need a sweater if you're heading out to the beach in Miami. Now, it is spectacular looking today. Look at that. Oh, but here's the deal. It's cold, especially by Florida standards. Yeah, now this morning you actually beat your record low. 52 degrees is what you were at when you woke up this morning in Miami. How about in Orlando? You were only 44 degrees. That broke your old record. And if you were in West Palm Beach, my old stomping grounds, 49 degrees. So I know that there are lots of winter jackets marching around Palm Beach today, because that's where it feels very cold by Florida standards. But here's the good news, that you can put them away, because we are going to see a quick rebound in these temperatures as we go into this next week. In fact, take a look at this. So this high that's kind of keeping them positioned on top of us, that cooler air, it's scooting out to sea. What we're going to see happen then is a nice little area that allows this warmth to surge back north. So this kind of little gap in the pattern, I'm going to let that warmth get back up into the northeast even, so some improvement there. But let's talk about the south, where tomorrow morning it's going to be 36 degrees when you start out your day in Atlanta. But as we get into your Tuesday morning, 43 degrees, a little bit better for walking the dog. And then we head into Wednesday morning, 52 degrees. So you see that rebound happens pretty quickly and get that warmth back. But all in all, it's been pretty chilly around here, Mark, but not as chilly as I think someone else will feel today.
Yeah, absolutely. Today's the big day for Daredevil Nick Wallenda, set to walk on a tightrope high above the Chicago River later today. And Jim Cantore takes a look at how the windy city weather will affect his very chilly walk, especially for those exposed hands and his face. Ooh, I'm glad someone can do it.
What do astronauts eat?
Have lunch with one and find out. Only at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Meet real astronauts, see Space Shuttle Atlantis, and experience firsthand the future of America's space exploration.
Hershey's Spreads. Bring the delicious taste of Hershey's chocolate to anything. Everything. With Hershey's Spreads, the possibilities are delicious.
Hi, I'm new Ensure Active Clear Protein Drink.
Clear, huh?
I'm not juice or fancy water. I've got 8 grams of protein.
New Ensure Active Clear Protein. 8 grams protein, 0 fat. Ensure. Take life in.
What does a 37 million horsepower launch feel like?
Experience it for yourself. Only at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Meet real astronauts, see Space Shuttle Atlantis, and experience firsthand the future of America's space exploration.
Thursday, a day dedicated to prepping and surviving winter's worst.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Watch the Winter Weather Prep Rally Thursday morning and night on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 69. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 60. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 75. Winds northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
If you miss Tonight on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, tonight at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
The Dueler tires on Terrence Knighton's truck are engineered to be Bridgestone's best SUV tires, and now they have an 80,000-mile tread-wear warranty.
Guess we're gonna be here a while.
First time on a treadmill?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying.
With an 80,000-mile tread-wear warranty, the Dueler tires are Bridgestone's best SUV tires. Go to BridgestoneTire.com to find a Bridgestone dealer near you.
Now, Centrum Silver has a new easy-to-swallow coating. So the nutrients for your eyes, heart, and brain go down easier. For a limited time, get your $4 coupon at Centrum.com.
Remember the hassle of vacuuming before the Dyson DC-59 Motorhead? Before our direct drive cleaner head increased brush power to out-clean the 5 best-selling full-size vacuums across carpets and hard floors without the hassle of a cord.
There it is. This is where I met your grandpa. Right under this tree.
Some things are worth holding on to.
They're hugging the tree.
That's why we got a Subaru.
Was it that tree?
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Skyscraper Live, tonight at 7 on Discovery.
I know endurance-wise I can make it, not an issue, but what is the wind going to be like? That's the question.
Not only is that the question, that's the $1 million question as the clock ticks down to Nik Wallenda's death-defying stunt over the Chicago River.
600 feet in the air with nothing but a tightrope and a lot of prayers. I would say in a prayer.
Probably like
I'm going to go ahead and say a lot of prayers. I don't know. Did you hear him with his last tightrope walk? That's all he was saying the whole time.
Yeah.
He prayed the whole way across it.
You know, later today, Nik Wallenda sets out again to make history. The high wire artist will tempt fate walking from one skyscraper to another and then another one while blindfolded.
Yeah, no big deal. This is all happening in the Windy City, and our own storm tracker Jim Cantori, who's co-hosting tonight's event, got a chance to speak to Nick's father.
I am responsible for the weather. Of course, I can't control it, but I will do what I can certainly to keep the winds calm and keep the temperatures as warm as I can. But the most important person, Nick, is perhaps his father, Terry, who will be talking to him. Is the only person who gets to talk to him while he's on the wire. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us, sir.
My pleasure, Jim.
So, it is cold.
Yes, it is.
Nick's in Sarasota, Florida. Is that a concern?
It's a little bit of a concern. I'm not overly worried about it, but it is going to affect him in his walk a little bit.
What do you think it'll affect the most? Maybe his hands, because he's holding that pole that's metal.
Actually, yes. He didn't find a pair of gloves that he was comfortable with, so he decided to just go barehanded and wrapping his fingers around a steel pole in the wind chill involved. It'll definitely affect him, but he'll be able to push through.
He knows how to zone in,
right.
Doesn't he? He really does. We've both seen it. Let's talk about the second walk, the blindfolded walk. What do you think about that, first of all?
Well, when he first told me, I thought he was nuts. But he proved to me that, he could do it, and he trained very hard. It's very different because his feet actually become his eyes. So he doesn't step off the side of the wire. He uses his feet to feel where he's going, so he keeps walking in that straight line across the wire.
But there are nuts that are holding those stabilizer wires down. How does he navigate those?
Yeah, there are wire rope clips that hold the stabilizers in place that are spaced evenly across the wire, and it's up to me to tell him if he's got about 2 steps left before he approaches one, and I adjust his steps accordingly so he doesn't stub his toe.
Is there any way to describe taking your eyes out of the picture?
You know,
what that does to the rest of the body. How does the rest of the body have to compensate for that?
You know, it's Nick would have to answer that one. He's the guy that's actually doing it. I'm just mostly concerned that he keeps walking in that straight line, and that's what I'm there for.
And we'll know you get him across to the other side. Terry, thank you. Thank you for talking to us again tonight, guys. My pleasure. We will be live on the Discovery Channel from 7 to 9:30, watching Nick possibly set 2 world records. And we know, I'll tell you, just from knowing this guy, there's no question in my mind he's going to do it. Guys, back to you.
Ooh.
My goodness, yeah.
Let's see how the weather will help out, though. Not much. Temperatures at least above freezing. So there's a really good thing, because easily in Chicago, we could have below freezing temperatures. The winds, though, those are going to be difficult.
Yeah, gusty winds for that high wire walk tonight. Of course, you just heard from Jim. He's hosting and will provide forecast updates to Nick and help co-host. So yeah, quite the event on Discovery tonight.
Yeah, 7 p.m. So make sure that you're watching. Okay, what's scarier than walking blindfolded on a tightrope over the Chicago River?
I'm not sure. It could, however, be Georgia's brutal summer heat. Actors from the hit TV show The Walking Dead explain why working in Georgia's heat could be more dangerous than the zombies themselves.
Lowe's presents How to Make It Quiet by Being Loud.
Save 10% off major appliances, $3.99 and more, plus 5% off with your Lowe's card.
Can you start tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's share the news tomorrow. Today we're fairly busy. Tomorrow we're booked solid. We close on the house tomorrow.
Want one of these opened up? Because tomorrow we go live, everybody.
It's a day full of promise. And often, that day arrives by train.
Big day today? Even bigger one tomorrow.
When CSX trains move forward, so does the rest of the economy. CSX, how tomorrow moves.
Ready?
Yep, let's do this.
Hey, I'm Melissa Joan Hart.
And I'm Anthony Anderson. And guess what? The holiday season starts right now.
Yep, so head to Walmart now for unbeatable prices on food, decorations, and the top gifts of the season, all at unbeatable prices.
You can also go to Walmart.com to get what you need for the holidays. My man. Walmart's here to help you save money and make holiday shopping easier than ever.
So you can make every day till Christmas count.
Let the joy begin! There's my ride home.
Oh, Blitzen.
No, that's Donner.
Wherever you walk, just remember this. Whatever you step on goes on your shoes and ends up on your car's floor. So to perfectly protect your vehicle, you need WeatherTech floor liners. They're laser measured to custom fit and perfectly protect your specific make and model. Order yours at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech floor liners, proudly made in America.
This fall, you've got to watch the Weather Channel mornings.
It will all start with the weather.
The weather's too important to cover in a few minutes.
It's starting to intensify.
Because it's not just about your forecast.
Look at this.
Listen to that.
See the...
You're driving along, having a perfectly nice day, when out of nowhere a pickup truck slams into your brand new car. 1 second, it wasn't there, and the next second, boom, you had your first accident. Now you have to make your first claim. So you talk to your insurance company, and boom, you're blindsided for a second time. They won't give you enough money to replace your brand new car. Don't those people know you're already shaken up?
Liberty Mutual's new car replacement will pay for the entire value of your car, plus depreciation. Call 1-888-731-2166. And for drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. Switch to Liberty Mutual Insurance and you could save up to $423. Call Liberty Mutual for a free quote today at 1-888-731-2166. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Ready for a new breed of broker? There's a name for people like you. Trade King. Switch today.
Mike Bettis.
Look at that monster.
The National Weather Association's Broadcaster of the Year.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 69. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 60. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 75. Winds northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. Guys, look at this. This is Holton, Maine. It is snowing hard, and it is going to continue to snow hard there for several more hours to come. They're picking up some snow pretty quickly, and look at the roads there. Those roads are covered with snow, meaning that the surface temperatures there are at or slightly below freezing. Hazardous travel all across Maine today. Weather Center Live again. I'm your storm specialist, Dr. Greg Postel. Now let's have a look at some other locations in Maine. Portland, Maine right now. It is snowing pretty hard. You can see the visibility there. To me, it looks like about somewhere between half a mile and a mile, meaning moderate snow. And notice that the roads are wet primarily. That means here, unlike in Holton, Maine, farther to the north, here the temperatures at the surface are a little above freezing, but it's still sticking on the rooftops and on the grassy surfaces. In addition to what they've already gotten in Maine, this is how much more we expect throughout the duration of the storm, which will wind down by about 10 or 11 o'clock tonight. There's going to be a lot more snow, guys, and looking at the radar, you can see why. Bands of very heavy snow are moving in from the Atlantic. Some of those darker shades of blue, especially just to the northeast of Bar Harbor in Maine, they're picking up some S+, I know that, with visibilities there, probably a quarter of a mile and accumulating pretty quickly. But all along I-95 in Maine, travel speeds have been reduced to 45 miles per hour or less. Here's some of the snowfall totals that we've received so far. We will be updating these throughout the afternoon. Notice that 7 inches already in Lincoln, Maine, and some of these shades in purple suggest there's over 5 inches already in the coastal parts of Maine. Let's look at where this thing came from. Let's go back now to Saturday morning at 1:15 a.m., late Friday night, early Saturday morning. There's where the circulation is at upper levels, bringing some snow flurries to Atlanta and heavy snow in the southern Appalachians. But watch it. Let's track it during the day and Saturday night. Boom, there it is. Now it's in the Gulf of Maine. Really strong system now with the pressures down around 988 millibars. I think now it's past its prime in terms of intensity of the surface cyclone, but still we're getting a lot of snow on the backside. This is a included quadrant of this cyclone, it's called the northwest quadrant, where the air is ascending, it's rising and cooling the atmosphere, and because of that it's producing a lot of snow even in places where the surface temperatures are above freezing in Massachusetts. So Boston's snowing right now, eastern Massachusetts, and guess what? Foxborough, Massachusetts, where they're going to play the game later on today, has snow. That is something else, guys, but I think it's going to end up as rain fairly soon as temperatures begin to warm up and conditions improve fairly quickly late afternoon. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Doc. And a lot of people saying that winter weather this early in the year scares them a little bit for what's to come.
Yeah, but let's talk about something else that's a little scarier. How about the zombies on the popular TV series The Walking Dead? They say what's scarier is Mother Nature. Jen Carfagno has the details in this hour's The Walking Dead and weather.
Battling walkers is brutal, especially during Georgia's notoriously hot and sticky summers. The memories seared into the mind of Merle Dixon, actor Michael Rooker.
Oh, dude, the heat is... It was 115 on the rooftop. Well, I was sitting on the asphalt type stuff and handcuffed. So I was just sitting, so the heat's coming down, it's bouncing up.
even the tiniest members of the cast feeling the heat.
And I had to shoot during like a heat wave, and we're like running in the scene. So I'm like sweating and sweating. Since I was really dirty most of the time, I just put on like moisturizer and chapstick. Everyone else is like, mascara dripping off. And I'm like, nope, nothing.
Actor Scott Wilson, the beloved Herschel, acknowledges the important role weather plays on the show.
I think that being here and the show taking place in Georgia certainly adds to for the actors the level of experience. You don't have to act it, you're experiencing it.
And zombie makeup guru Greg Nicotero acknowledges weather is a character on the show.
Yeah, you can check the new episodes of The Walking Dead. That airs actually tonight, 9 p.m. on AMC. All right, the New York City Marathon is looking tough, is a pretty tough challenge on its own, but throw in this weather, the cold, the wind, you have one tough race. We're going to check in to see what kind of effect these conditions are having on the runners.
And this Arctic blast has had a wide-reaching effect, even blanketing parts of the south with snow. Mike Seidel gives us an update on the regions that were hit the hardest.
Wearing glasses with just any progressive lenses? See the difference with Verilux, the only progressive lens brand with lenses designed using wave technology. Enjoy smooth transitions and sharp vision. Never compromise. Ask your eye care professional for Verilux.
Ask your eye care professional about Transitions signature lenses.
When heartburn comes creeping up on you, fight back with Relief So Smooth. It's fast. Tums Smoothie starts dissolving the instant it touches your tongue and neutralizes stomach acid at the source. Smoothies, only from Tums.
Dogs thrive on raw nutrition. Introducing Instinct Raw Boost, the only grain-free, high-protein kibble boosted with freeze-dried raw bites.
Right now at PetSmart, save 15% or more on all small bags of Instinct Raw Boost dried dog food.
From residential to commercial, from large loss to emergency response. Whenever damage strikes, call on the cleanup team that's faster to any size disaster at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
I like to mix things up a bit with Grand's Mini Pot Pies. Only 4 ingredients and a few easy steps. Weeknight dinner in a flash, and my family devours them. Pillsbury Grand's biscuits make dinner pop.
Meet the lumberjack whose flannel was out of whack. Freedom to move is what he lacked, even when woodland creatures attack. Until he put Duluth free swinging flannel on his back, with armpit gussets to whack and hack. Now he's known as a lumberjack. Duluth Trading free swinging flannel. Swinging made easy. Flannel made burly. Get it only at DuluthTrading.com.
Man, these boneless chicken wings are great.
Yeah, I know, and I finally found myself a wingman.
You're going to use the wing as your wingman?
Yeah, for the ladies.
It's going to give you that certain je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais what?
Be a wingman with new all-white meat, boneless chicken wings, and 3 flavors. This is how you Sonic.
Today, we're getting record snowfall.
Radars indicate there's been flooding throughout the area.
We're getting hail the size of golf balls.
Maglite. Turn your light on, America.
Seatbelts, headrests, and airbags help you survive a crash. But if you upgrade your headlights, you may even avoid one. See farther, wider, better. Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
For the year. Hi, sorry, just want to say I bundled home and auto with State Farm, saved $760. Love this guy. So sorry.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Savings worth talking about. State Farm.
Monday morning on the Weather Channel, a daredevil's tightrope walk 50 stories over windy Chicago. Jim Cantori's there to show us how dangerous the weather got. Plus, could the new pocket of Arctic air keep people from voting at the polls and possibly change the balance of power? All Monday morning on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 69. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 60. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 75. Winds northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
See the weather like never before.
Look at this. Listen to that.
Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel Mornings.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm Kate Parker.
And I'm Mark Elliott. And as always, for our weekend shows, we want to see what you are up to. It is your weekend, not really ours. We're working.
Yeah, so it's your weekend. It's hashtag your weekend. So we got to see your pictures. In fact, take a look at this one from Deborah. Hey, looks like you're having a really good time with that flamingo flag. Feels like it's pretty appropriate in the snow. Yeah, this is from Vienna, Maine, and I'm telling you, it's coming down hard there. It's been kind of a rough morning for you to get your day started.